is Jane, and what I'm about to tell you happened when I was just a child during the Christmas season. It was a night like any other, where the air was filled with the sweet scent of pine, and the glow of twinkling lights adorned the houses in our quiet neighborhood. The snow crunched beneath my boots as I wandered the streets, marveling at the beautifully decorated houses. As a child, Christmas held a special kind of magic for me, and I loved soaking in the festive atmosphere. That particular night, however, would forever change the way I viewed the holiday season. As I strolled down the snowy street, admiring the sparkling lights, I saw a figure in the distance. Dressed in a red suit with a white beard, it was unmistakably Santa Claus. My heart skipped a beat with excitement, and I couldn't believe my luck. The real Santa Claus was in our neighborhood. He approached me with a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye. "Ho, ho, ho! Well, aren't you a good little girl?" he chuckled. "I have something special for you, my dear. Follow me, and I'll give you some delicious candy from my sack." Overwhelmed with joy, I eagerly agreed to follow him. The snow crunched beneath our feet as we walked down the deserted street. The neighborhood, usually filled with laughter and the sounds of joy, seemed strangely quiet that night. Santa led me towards a dimly lit area where his sleigh was parked. I couldn't contain my excitement as visions of candy canes and chocolate danced in my head. But as we reached the car, a chill ran down my spine. Something felt off. Santa opened the car door, revealing a dimly lit interior. He gestured towards the back seat, where he claimed the candy was waiting for me. Without a second thought, I climbed into the back, my eyes gleaming with anticipation. That's when everything took a sinister turn. The moment I settled into the back seat, Santa's demeanor changed. His eyes, once twinkling with merriment, turned cold and calculating. Before I could react, he grabbed me with a strength that defied his jolly appearance and threw me into the back of the car, slamming the door shut. Panic set in as I realized the man I thought was Santa Claus was anything but. The car sped away, leaving the deserted streets behind. Fear gripped my heart as I struggled in the darkness of the enclosed space. I knew I had to escape, but the car seemed to be moving too fast for me to make a break for it. The air grew colder, and the festive decorations that once brought joy now felt like haunting specters in the night. I couldn't fathom the reality of what was happening. The man I had trusted to be Santa Claus was an imposter with sinister intentions. As the car continued to speed through the desolate night, I clung to the hope that somehow, someone would come to my rescue. The suspension built slowly, like a nightmare unfolding in real time. The darkness outside the car window seemed to stretch endlessly, and the realization that I was in the clutches of a stranger on a Christmas night sent shivers down my spine. As the car slowed, I seized the opportunity to escape. I pushed the door open and tumbled out onto the cold, snowy ground. The imposter Santa cursed and screeched to a halt. I scrambled to my feet and ran as fast as my little legs could carry me, the echoes of his angry shouts fading into the distance. I never looked back, and eventually I stumbled upon a house where a kind family took me in, wrapping me in warmth and safety. That night, Christmas lost its innocence for me. The twinkling lights and festive decorations now carried a shadow, a reminder of the night I narrowly escaped the clutches of someone who masqueraded as the embodiment of holiday cheer. To this day, the memory of that Christmas night haunts me, a chilling reminder that even in the midst of celebration, darkness can lurk in the most unexpected places. My name is Catherine, and the chill in the air cut through me as I parted ways with my friends on that fateful Christmas Eve. We had just enjoyed a festive festival together, reveling in the holiday spirit that enveloped the town. The colorful lights adorned the streets, and laughter echoed in the cold night air. Little did I know that the merriment would soon turn into a nightmare that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Walking alone down the deserted streets, I couldn't shake off the feeling that someone was watching me. The soft crunch of snow beneath my boots seemed to magnify with every step, creating an eerie symphony in the silence of the night. A distant street lamp flickered, casting long, ominous shadows that danced along the pavement. As I turned a corner, I noticed a group of teenagers walking towards me. They seemed like ordinary kids at first, but there was an unsettling energy about them. An uneasy tension settled in the pit of my stomach, but I dismissed it as paranoia. The group closed in, surrounding me with malicious grins and piercing stares. My heart raced as one of them demanded my belongings. Panic surged through my veins, and I fumbled to hand over my purse, phone, and anything of value. The harsh reality of being mugged on Christmas Eve was surreal. These weren't the tidings of joy I had anticipated. With a malevolent chuckle, the ringleader handed me a beautifully wrapped gift box. "Merry Christmas," he sneered, the words dripping with sarcasm. Bewildered and terrified, I hesitated before cautiously accepting the ominous offering. The chilling wind seemed to howl in harmony with my racing thoughts as I slowly unwrapped the gift. The festive paper revealed a small, blood-stained box. Dread consumed me, but morbid curiosity urged me to open it. I carefully lifted the lid, and a nauseating sight greeted my horrified eyes. A severed finger, fresh blood still oozing from the wound. I recoiled in shock, the realization of the gruesome gift sinking in. The teenagers erupted into sinister laughter, their faces contorted with perverse pleasure. My mind struggled to comprehend the horror before me. Why would someone do this? Was it a sick joke or a twisted act of malice? As I stood there, frozen in terror, the group dispersed into the shadows, leaving me alone with the grotesque token of their malevolence. The distant echoes of their laughter lingered in the air like haunting carols, forever staining the once jubilant Christmas Eve. I stumbled away from the scene, my steps heavy with a mix of fear and disbelief. The festive lights that once felt warm and inviting now cast ominous glows on the snow-covered streets. That night, the spirit of Christmas took on a sinister hue, and the jingle of bells became a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the holiday cheer. Years have passed, but the memory of that Christmas Eve still haunts me. The sound of wrapping paper being torn triggers a visceral reaction, and the festive decorations serve as a chilling reminder of the night I received a gift that no one should ever unwrap. The scars, both physical and psychological, remain etched in my memory, a grim testament to the true horror that can lurk beneath the facade of holiday joy. It was Christmas Eve, and the festive lights adorned the streets, casting a warm and inviting glow. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter and the sweet scent of hot cocoa. I was enjoying the holiday spirit at the local Christmas festival, surrounded by the joyous atmosphere. Little did I know, my cheerful night would soon descend into a chilling nightmare. As I wandered through the crowded streets, marveling at the dazzling decorations, I noticed a man in a Santa Claus costume standing near a food stall. At first, it seemed like an ordinary sight, just another festive character adding to the holiday cheer. However, as I continued to explore the festival, I couldn't shake the feeling that the man in the Santa suit was following me. I dismissed it as paranoia at first, attributing the crowded nature of the event to the coincidental appearance of Santa wherever I went. Yet, as I turned corners and weaved through the merry crowd, there he was, always within sight, always watching. The suspicion grew, gnawing at the edges of my enjoyment. I decided to test my theory. I changed direction abruptly, darting through the maze of stalls and twinkling lights. To my horror, the man in the Santa suit changed direction with me, matching my every move. Panic set in as I quickened my pace, my heart racing. I weaved through the festival's maze, desperately trying to shake off the eerie figure. I approached the quieter outskirts of the event, hoping to lose him in the shadows. As I glanced over my shoulder, I saw the man in the Santa suit emerge from the darkness, his eyes fixed on me. Feeling cornered, I approached a security guard, explaining the situation. The guard, initially dismissive, offered to accompany me back into the crowd. But as we scanned the festive sea of people, the Santa Claus figure was nowhere to be seen. I sighed in relief, thinking perhaps my imagination had run wild. The security guard assured me that everything was fine and suggested I continue enjoying the festivities. Reluctantly, I heeded his advice, but a nagging unease lingered in the pit of my stomach. As the night wore on, I convinced myself that I had overreacted. The festive cheer around me was infectious, and I immersed myself in the joyous ambience. But just as I began to let my guard down, I felt a chilling breeze on the back of my neck. Turning slowly, my eyes widened in terror. The man in the Santa suit stood inches away, his expression obscured by the fake white beard. Panic surged through me as I stumbled backward, my mind racing for an escape route. The festive lights that once felt warm now cast ominous shadows. I sprinted through the maze of stalls, the man in the Santa suit in relentless pursuit. Fear fueled my every step as I darted through the deserted portions of the festival, desperately seeking help. It became evident that this was no ordinary Santa Claus. His intentions were sinister, and the festival had transformed into a haunting nightmare. I finally stumbled upon a group of festival organizers and security personnel. Breathless and terrified, I recounted the chilling pursuit by the man in the Santa suit. As the group mobilized to search for him, I caught my breath, grateful for the protective circle forming around me. But just as quickly as he had appeared, the man in the Santa suit vanished into the night. The festival organizers assured me that they would heighten security and keep an eye out for anyone matching his description. Despite their reassurances, the sense of dread lingered, casting a shadow over what should have been a joyful Christmas Eve. The festival continued, but the once vibrant lights now seemed to flicker with an ominous energy. Every person in a Santa Claus costume sent shivers down my spine, and the joyous laughter around me felt muffled by the memory of that haunting pursuit. As I left the festival that night, surrounded by the same festive lights that had initially filled me with joy, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The man in the Santa suit had disappeared into the night, leaving behind an unsettling question. Was he a mere specter of the holiday spirit, or something far more sinister? The festive cheer had given way to a chilling reality, turning what should have been a night of celebration into a Christmas Eve I would never forget.